Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. So I'm here today with a little bit of a writing update. Now, I'm wearing this very strange dress today. In case you're wondering, you're probably not wondering, but I'm looking in my camera and I'm seeing it's a little bit strange. But it may be a bit of a fashion risk, but I don't know, it kind of reminds me of something from the 1940s. Very drapey, has a little snap here that keeps coming undone. Anyway, just wanted to let you know that I'm actually wearing a dress and not just wrapped a bathrobe around myself for today's video. I haven't gotten to that point yet, even though we are now halfway through NaNoWriMo. So I thought I would do a little NaNoWriMo update. And I'm feeling good because I'm right on target. Today is when I'm recording it, and I'll probably upload it today. It's Wednesday the 18th. I'm 30,000 words in, but such a long way to go. I mean, this book will probably, especially how I've structured it, which is not a lot of structure, believe me, but it's a sweeping fantasy epic. It's probably going to be the longest book I've ever written. And at this point, I'm trying not to remind myself how much of it that needs to be rewritten, because a lot of it doesn't even make sense, but I am getting the words down, and I'm having fun doing it. So I thought I would do my Nano catch up in conjunction with a tag that I saw on Dane Reads' channel that I really enjoyed, and that's called I think it's Get to Know the Writer tag, but I'm going to put the actual correct tag name right here because I think I may have copied it down wrong. So I saw this from Dane Reads' video, which I will link below, and I'm not sure where he got it from, but I think he traced it back to Shay, who maybe got it from Steve Donoghue. I'm not sure who started it, but if you know, please mention it in the comments below. At what time of day do you usually write? Well, that's easy. I always do it in the morning. I usually, spend about an hour with my coffee, kind of getting my head together, and then I start to write, and yeah, very early. And for me, I like getting out of the way early. It's kind of like exercising. Then you know you've done it, and then it's not hanging over your head for the rest of the day. Do you outline your work or just wing it? I actually do both. So one of my favorite things about the creative process is the discovery. And I think without that, I would be very bored with any creative endeavor, because it is about the uncovering. But if you lay all your plans there and you know where you're going, you're more likely to, uncover stuff that maybe you subconsciously already planned, if that makes sense. Like I had a moment the other day where I was writing something where I hadn't thought of, and my story takes place on two separate planets currently. My fantasy story, my fantasy sci-fi story, it's really more fantasy. It takes place on two different planets that are connected. So there are parallel stories going on, but then I was able to also find some parallel themes between the two stories, which I really like. So I do outline, but it's kind of a loose outline, and I leave it open for discoveries and things that make it better. Because unless it improves the story, you really don't want to include it. What authors do you admire the most? Well, that's really tough. I think that the authors I admire the most are always the ones that I'm currently reading that I'm really loving, if that makes sense. And the one that I'm reading now is a book that I don't think I really appreciated it fully until I listened to it on Audible, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. I am having the best time listening to that book. So at the moment, I'm going to say Bram Stoker. Why I'm loving Bram Stoker right now is because the way this narrator is reading the story, it's making it come to life for me in a way that it never has. Because as you know, if you know the book, it's a series of letters and journal entries and newspaper articles and logs, like the captain's log on the Demeter, and conversations. Having the narrator do it with the different voices and the different accents, he's really excellent. And I think the first time I read it, I was probably disappointed because I didn't find it very scary. Second time I read it, I got into it more. This time, the second time I read it, I really liked it, but I thought it was inferior to some of my other favorite books like Frankenstein. This time, I think it's amazing. And I really think it's listening to it. So if you've had trouble with that book before, if you're maybe a little intimidated by it, if you tried reading it and you didn't like it, but you still want to give it another chance, I highly recommend you listen to the audiobook. Anyway, I digress from this tag. Oh, what is your least favorite genre to read or write? I would say like military, like anything to do with war. I don't like war movies. I find it very stressful. In fact, every time I've gone to see a war movie, like I remember my husband insisted we go see the D-Day movie. Was that what it was called? Oh no, Saving Private Ryan. Oh my God. That was a traumatic experience. I mean, it was a great movie, but like I don't want to go through that. I felt like I had PTSD at the end of that, which I think was kind of the point of that movie, at least on one level. Okay, what's next? Do you want writing to be a hobby or is it a goal to write full time? I would love to make a living as a writer. I think that would be awesome. I am kind of working toward that. Now, I'm a long way from that, but since I've been laid off from my job, I have been really making an effort to market my books more. Of course, that's difficult when you don't have like a lot of money to put into advertising, but I've certainly been writing a lot more. And since I don't even know when I will be back to my job or if my job will even be there in the future, I'm starting to kind of come up with some plans for that. But yes, I love writing. I have 4 novels that just really, like, not counting the one I'm writing, 4 novels that are in, and a novella that are in like a draft state that need to be edited and put out there. So I feel like I have a lot of material to work with. What's the hardest part of writing for you? The isolation and just sitting there by yourself, which I do spend a lot of time alone and I'm kind of like okay with that, but that does become hard. So having a community on YouTube or whatever, like a writing community, if you have a writing group, that is something that I'm finding is actually very helpful for that. So that part is hard because you can't just create things in isolation. You need to share it. You need some feedback to bounce ideas off other people. So I'm trying to get more involved with that stuff. Do you have a writing routine? Well, yes, I get up very early and I write almost every day. So that's my routine. And then I'll take a break where I won't write. I'll do some exercise, like if I'm not working at night, which I usually do. In the afternoon, I will, do some editing. So it's a different part of the brain. But yes, I have a writing routine. What's your solution to writer's block? I hear this writer's block a lot. I don't mean to sound like, I don't know, cocky, but I really have never experienced writer's block. As far as, feeling I have nothing to say, because it's just, I always have something to say. Now, it might not be what I want to say, but something always comes. And I think that even if you have to switch to a different project, like if I feel dried up about one idea, there's a short story I'm supposed to be working on, so there's always something to be doing, or I'm going to write a song, or I'm going to write a poem, or I go into my studio where I have my little art room set up and I just do something that has nothing to do with writing, painting, something completely visual that can help me get me back into the other things. So no, I've never really had writer's block, but I think I know what you're talking about. But if I did, I would try one of those things. How long have you had a writing blog? Well, I do have a blog that I barely ever update anymore because I started this YouTube channel. So I feel like my YouTube channel is kind of like my writing vlog. Do you think having a writing blog has helped your writing in any way? Well, that's kind of specific. I think that being involved with like BookTube and AuthorTube has helped my writing a lot. It has gotten me out of my little corner and has helped me connect with other writers and readers, and that is always very helpful. I guess now I'm supposed to tag a few people, but because this is NaNoWriMo month, I'm going to skip that part. But if you see this video and you want to do this tag, please feel free. So let me know in the comments below if you are writing, if you're doing NaNoWriMo this month, Let me know how your progress is going. I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.